Alright, welcome to stream Duelyst World Champion thing, playoffs stream thing.
Semifinals, if I'm not mistaken.
Semifinals. Playoffs. I thought it was playoffs. Okay, never mind. So,
yeah,
here's StoicRooster representing, and Jay might come at some point, hopefully, to join us, but yeah. Any feelings?
I think it was very good semifinals when we played versus Team Canada.
It was very good. Speaking of
Really
games,
good.
we're gonna be streaming both sets, full and live. No censoring.
With call no commentary. Even
Okay,
Scandinavian buddies.
absolutely. Alright, so any thoughts about the, tournament thus far? Wanna get the first game?
Well, I think it was interesting that all factions could produce close to 50%, except for Banner, who produced terrible numbers.
Well.
Surprised me.
Well, nobody actually tried to play Banner too much. By the way, chat, if the voice is bad or you cannot hear us, let us know on the chat.
And this is US East on the left, with Mr. Mana, and it is Southeast Asian team, VBC, on the right.
Yeah, that is correct.
We're also seeing S rank 1 versus S rank 4, so it's a top ladder game.
Let's just get rid of J for a moment here. Yeah. Alright.
This that Mr. Mana is bringing here looks very close to the one that MSLG used to win not only good.
Very good stuff. Reva, Crescent Spheres, Cryptographers, even Primus Fists.
None of the cards that MSLG ran in his finals deck were actually banned, so you can just straight up copy the deck.
Songhai wasn't actually hit very hard by the bans, if I remember. It's just the Battle Panther and Old Beast.
Battle Panda was a huge part of it.
Well,
I still run it because you still have a lot of good stuff, but mid Kalios and aggro Reva would be huge word if Battle Panda was still around. Good Primus Fist value off here.
yeah. Yeah, the Battle Panda is kinda... I think the Songhai decks will have been pretty overpowering without the Battle Panda ban.
And having Albeast would just mean that every other deck would be Arcanist Shidai.
Yeah.
Interesting by the BBC player to leave that Ragebinder exposed.
Well, it has like 4 health, so it's kinda hard to...
Had the clear except for the egg on board. BBC passes, maybe holding Plasma Storm here.
it is not a hate first deck, no.
No. I think
But
I've
yeah.
seen a hate for this deck yet.
Yeah. I think somebody played it in the some tournament game, actually. I remember seeing it. But yeah, it seems like might be just the one-man army bot, which has been pretty popular in this tournament, from what I can tell.
Volt is pretty good, but I think BBC is holding a Plasma here, so I would just drop Jammer and play Spear.
Yeah. Looks like it's
seems to be the play. Mr. Mana is telling BBC you have to have the Plasma Storm here.
Yeah, maybe playing the Crescent Spurs so early on might not be the most beneficial.
I guess you're forcing the Plasma Storm to leave up the Spear.
Yeah. And you can still equip it next turn, so it's not so crucial right now.
Find it with 8 kits at the top of the deck that you can have your own kind of taste to it, because I tried to play MSLG's deck on ladder, I just did not care for it at all.
I need to see if the stream is actually alive. Just a moment.
Getting some love here from Luvalon, so we're doing something right at least.
Yep.
Yeah, just equip Spear and maybe play Jammer behind Voth and back to Voth here seems like a decent play. Because you do a card gives you a Jammer on board.
Yep.
Or very well. I think that would be my play here. Voth typically struggles very heavily against effects in general. I know even Pierce ran Rust Crawler in his Voth deck.
Yeah. I think Rust Crawler is a pretty good card in these tournaments in general. Because I think a lot of the decks do rely on the artifact synergy to some extent. And you can disable some crucial decks pretty well with the well-placed Rust Crawler. If you know what your opposition is playing, so...
And Voth is typically struggling very heavily against it here. Let's keep the Spear at full health, it's pretty good.
I mean, if you
really
just have like one attack, you can only do one punch. So...
Double Katatsu, they then go face here. I don't mind that.
Seems like that's gonna be the play.
I think that Mr. Mana is very much ahead in this game. Unless VBC is going Earthsphere into Saurian here, I think he might even win hit.
But VBC does have like a full hand, so it might be very potential line here if Mr. Mana isn't careful, because it doesn't look like Mr. Mana can actually punch in too much damage.
No, but you have the potential of dealing damage out of hand, whereas Voth tends to walk closer.
Yeah.
Unless he's a genius and plays Armada. I'm not sure if...
I guess here you can see like a divergence in the players, because I think some players will just like back away there from the Voth. And just...
I think I would have backed off there.
Yeah.
I think Voth's ability of dealing range damage is very limited here.
Yeah. But then again, you have the Saurian.
Am I missing something?
What?
Why didn't he draw more cards?
What?
Oof, that's harsh. Oh, there was a delay in the replay. That's why his hand was emptier than it appeared. Because Apex summoned a bunch of stuff.
What?
Safely ahead, he is looking quite. I still wonder if he has lethal though. Has lethal. Yeah.
Wow.
In ping off the force field, and the spears make his Phoenix fires and bombs.
Yeah.
Quite explosive. Double Kragon in hand. Unfortunately, force field doesn't stack.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, that's the first I've seen in this tournament.
Well, very bold by VBC, and an interesting choice in playing Voth. The Starhorn seems to be the general of choice in these decks. But that explains why he was so passive.
Yeah, kind of like weird why he didn't like back off earlier, because he was like tanking a lot of damage from Riva there. I mean,
he tended to take a lot of damage.
Well, yeah, but he was like walking forward and dealing with the spell jammers and whatever else. Not like if you just want to hit 7 mana, isn't it better to just you know?
I think this also just shows what I previously was on about, like how difficult Voth tends to have with artifacts. It's a bit ironic that the general that's known for being effective at pushing damage is so bad at being able to. It's like Regalia is one exception.
Yeah.
Play in the deck where you're playing as Voth.
Alrighty.
Also getting some attention here from Poncho in chat. Welcome here.
Yeah, welcome, and welcome to Luvalon as well. It's nice to see that we are not the only ones here today. Seems a bit quiet chat today. unfortunately, but we are streaming.
It's a
bit early.
weekday.
Yeah.
Understandable that people want to go to bed and such.
No.
We are here offering top quality content, so I urge you not to.
We're gonna be here all night.
Things are currently 1-0 in US East's favor here versus Southeast Asia.
So on the left we have Southeast Asia represented by Xateaorora, and on the right we have
I think it's actually the player who played the last chance, eliminated River after for winner's side, and then never played another game.
Alright.
Yeah. Not only getting some more VOP action, but Magmar action in general.
You've seen some extinction events, so this seems like a X kananmunia koko kansalle.
It seems like to be a very greedy eggless though, with charms and extinction. I wonder how it will cope against the many plasma storms of VOP here.
I think the exotic charm is like, well, it's been a pretty controversial. Like Alpha even himself said that maybe that card should have been banned, but I think it's just too strong of a card in an egg list to justify like leaving out. Maybe extinction event is a bit too much, but
Lava lands right now. Banned.
Yeah.
I was looking up chat, so I didn't hear what you were saying.
yeah, that's good. Me neither. But the exotic charm seems to be like a very crucial card in these egg lists in this tournament. From
I think Lance is enough of a ban.
yeah.
I don't think you should necessarily. The only argument for banning cards like Lance, banning cards like Charm, is if you keep Lance specifically legal, and then you like make a bunch of other egg interactive cards illegal just to make Lance. But I think the solution was better.
Well, the
Even if it
resident
did mean-
Eggmaster said the exotic charm is much more crucial to the list than Lava Lens. So Lava Lens just blocks a lot of the other decks from functioning. So I don't know.
I think that you would not be foolish to disregard what Ragnora can do. Aggro. Well,
Yeah.
it's a really dangerous deck, and that deck tends to forgo the more greedier Zodic Charm.
CFM Mobilas, so sorry if I mispronounced. Yes, this is the Duelyst World Cup. That's the official name.
Very finest nations competing, or regions, more
Absolutely.
like it. A super solid play here for Jade. Yes, he could play another Sylphar and equip a Charm.
I'm not sure if you need to equip the charm this early on. I would maybe save that when you actually have some potential for eggs on the board.
It's true. Just playing defensive mentor could also be a play.
Yeah.
Take bottom tile, take mid tile with Sylphar, and play mentor defensively.
Well, you could actually get both the mentor and the Silitar out here. It's probably the play he's going for here. Oh, he's just going for the defensive play. Okay.
Oh, this plays really hard into Lava Slasher though. Let's see if we can punish this positioning. This takes tile with general and moves Crypto into position.
Well, Lava Slasher is a really hard card to deal with this early on, so it's really hard card to play around as well. Usually you just don't have the option to place your minions that defensively without like losing all of your tempo. That's why Lava Slasher is such a huge card for Magmar in general.
And that 4 damage is a bit hard to get through. Fires into tank 4 and trade in the Silverfar.
Yeah.
It seems to be pretty good value for a 1 card investment that Lava Slasher is
Yeah.
at this point. Would replace Kujata here, and I think Shade's going to do it.
In case anybody's interested or doesn't know what the Duelyst World Champions is, I'm gonna post the link sometime soon after I click through things.
Shade has a pretty good Lava Slasher turn of his own, where he can Lava Slasher on tile, and play an egg defensively.
So that should be the link to the rules, in which you can also see the year of how the teams are formed and so on forth. As a second link, you can see the standings.
Shade making a bit of a questionable play here, where he is going to get very punished if Ng manages to have Flash Mecantor. Flash Mecantor perhaps is a combo that only Starhorn has, but we will see.
The 4 of the Lava Slashers going on.
You can't be happy about naturals like the egg.
Well, it depends on if you know what you're playing against, but yeah. Can't really let those rag eggs survive.
That's why I like Creator and Law. Or Creator in general.
Oh.
Things.
It's like a
Yeah,
cheaper
again,
play score, yeah.
What's face over clearing the Lava Slasher? That's curious.
I think this would be a very good spot to equip the charm. It's really hard for NNNGGG to clean up the board without Plasma Storm.
And he also makes a very, very smart play here, where if Ng actually does a Plasma Storm, he can't get through the eggs.
Yeah.
So he gets to keep his artifact alive.
Also has the Rage Reactor. I think a lot of people say that card isn't very good, but
Well, it's a very matchup dependent card, I feel like. So you can feel like it's a bit awkward entering into a matchup like this. It does give you attack and damage. Good. I know when I play Titan against Zabiul, Rage Reactors, and I think FBX against me with that. So he got quite good value of that.
alright, so what kind of cards
And
did
only
we
runs
get?
minions.
Drybone, nice. And Diamond Colon.
Unfortunately for Ng here, he has a fairly clean clear, and he actually gets some value of Rage Reactor here as he can trade into the egg freely with his general.
I gotta say, it's always nice to see the Flash Juggernaut coming out.
Maybe our newer player doesn't know, but Juggernaut itself was partly responsible for the nerf of Flash Reincarnation, where you used to be able to stack several on top of each other, but now you can only play one Flash Reincarnation.
Yeah.
Due to turn 2 Juggernaut.
That was just mean.
All similar nerf is done to Grandmaster Variax, which could be Darkfire Sacrifice out to turn 2.
Oh. And then you just get like the 5/5s like next turn, and you're like, okay, game is hard.
Thinking about a hard game, it doesn't seem to be in a terribly good spot here.
He kinda needs that everything Plasma Storm into Rust Crawlers.
He does leave one Celabar alive, unless he Nationals will punish that.
I think it's okay to just leave the Xateaorora alive, like.
Yeah, it's better than nothing, of course, but it's difficult for you to win this game of value. Those Rippers give you value over time.
Yeah. Especially with the mentors coming out. I mean, now it's just gonna be X over X over X, so...
This new player packs an EMP here.
Yeah. Which he might, because EMP isn't actually a column. No, wait, is it?
EMP is, yes, a golem.
It is a column, yes.
Thinking about attacking with a Silver here?
I don't actually see why you should, personally.
Well, I guess you need to double trade into the egg to clear it, and maybe his reasoning that the buff player doesn't have that. Yeah. It's not unlikely that his next turn is just going to be Saurian.
There's also a possibility that discussing if they can actually get a lethal here. If they punch Wath here. And expose to the random one-turn kill.
Again, he still needs to watch out for Drogon here. So he still needs to keep out of range, but he's doing good work with his Silphars and his eggs. And
yes,
Saurian comes down. Spawn up to a solid 8 attack.
Unfortunately, that doesn't seem to do a whole lot right now.
No, that's true. 6 mana himself means his options of trying to ODK Jate is rather limited.
And if his like a big game minions are like juggernauts, that's not gonna happen for a while.
And Jade's BBS is open once more, so he can keep generating token cards for his hand.
Yeah.
5/5 erratic raptors, very difficult for get rid of as it evades Plasma Storm.
And it does leave an egg, which has force field, which is the biggest problem right now for NNNG, I think, and US East in general.
Earlier would have gone a long way. Therefore, dudes are looking pretty pathetic now that you can't combo against something with 8 attack. Eat Rippers with 9 health. Them twice.
That Rage Binder seems kind of afterthought in the right now. I mean, he can keep off NNNG, but can he actually kill him?
You can just slap him continuously every turn with your eggs and get them back.
CFM Mobiles, I think Uniforce does mean just that, like just the players that didn't fit in any of the rest of the teams, or were taken away.
I think Uniforces was like South American and Russian players mostly.
Yeah.
But an African player or two.
Yeah.
Other team captain was Russian player Kosvid.
Shh. Not Russian.
Isn't he Russian?
No, he's Russian-minded, but he's not actually Russian because Russians can't play this glorious game.
Okay. Maybe he used a VPN, who knows. 6 mana Mechander isn't really carrying very far here.
Not a whole lot is. Quite curious, it just did nothing, like not even go back.
I think he recognized defeat at this point.
Well, that's nearly lethal on board.
Lethal on board?
6, 10, 20, 23. That's lethal.
And the general's got 4 attack. It'd be funny to see some more interaction.
Huh.
A 6 mana artifact that hatches all friendly eggs when you deal damage.
Doesn't seem like they see the lethal. Or maybe they're just drawing, I don't know. But that should be lethal, right?
I think there's a lethal on board somehow, yes. But I tend to reason if you can't spot the lethal, it just typically it's better to make the safe value play. It puts you ahead on board.
Because they could have just moved the minions and then just traded all of them and hit with general and then hatch one of the eggs, create or fort whatever hit phase. That would not be lethal.
Here's an egg list here from Xate's team, Southeast Asia. Nice. So I've been kind of thinking myself of how you would build eggs, and I've kind of rejected it at face value. See how eggs actually do anything.
What do you mean? You have rejected egg value at face value.
I have indeed rejected egg. But I feel like there's like two essential ways you can play eggs at this point without lands. You can either go aggro eggs or you can go greedy with charm. And neither of them I think seem very good without lands. Something right here.
Well, it seems to be very effective against the Watt. Flash Stroke on Tracer. PPS.
I think he's gonna play Red Sinja this turn. Did another good thing here, where he made sure that Rebuke would not, or Plasma would not be let approach it, hit his general. Something like Plasma into Flash Drogon is lethal. If he could get hit face.
Well, this should be lethal on all accounts, right?
So many dinosaurs getting around the field, there's no way this isn't...
Get the Fosaurian farm going on.
2 mana Sunstone Bracers play. It's not the Moth player who smashes, it is he who gets smashed.
Waiting on that fancy artifact.
Yeah.
Alright, that was pretty solid showing from the Southeast Asia. So it is 1-1 right now.
I feel like NG just struggled to clean up the artifact. We're seeing 2 games in a row where the Voth player loses in a very similar way. Struggled to remove the and the second game he failed to remove the charm.
Yeah, I mean, Watt just doesn't have the pings required, usually. Because if you are playing one-man army, you usually just don't play pings like Platias or Scorns, because they usually hit your game plan harder than they hit their game plan, and you don't have space for them. And on the latter, it's very true that people don't usually play artifacts that often.
There's a lot of wanderers walking around. They.
Alright, so okay. Yes, this is the correct game.
Big of the known Reva player.
Alright, so we have Mr. Mana on the left side representing US East, and on the right side we have Dracomoriarty representing Southeast Asia.
Doesn't really make much sense of Draco's deck right now. It could just be some kind of attempted mid-range.
I think it's the pagan list.
Yeah, but protocols? Sticks?
I mean, Assassination Protocol, okay, it's yeah, well.
Oh, could this be Dragalhai? Could this be mid-range Reba?
Well, it looks like it with the Gendo and the what's her face. You've got healing mystics going on.
That's my guess. See if Mabola's also making the joke here that Draco can't play Wanderer as it's banned. He played Wanderer Riva in the last 2 Malta leagues. So he knows his way around Wanderer, but this tournament, that's not an option.
But Draco is a very old school player, so he has played a lot of decks over the years.
This is true. This is true. Draco hasn't played a lot of Duelyst outside of tournaments, but I still think he maintains his skills, if you can put it like that.
Yeah. Very
The game
consistent
isn't rusty,
tournament player. So.
But I don't see that with Draco. Always replace Healing Mystic when you're at full health. They're very, very cautious, Draco here. He doesn't have the Riva mentality of always pushing face damage and never caring about your own. I wonder if Mr. Mana is playing a deck he played against Alpha previously.
Yeah, it's casualist. Kind of a general. I thought we would see more, but Maif has actually just been a lot better general this tournament. Like 4/4s coming out of nowhere seems to be a pretty solid value.
Yeah, it is actually very powerful. But I said before that I don't like Cassius in general. I think she's overrated. I think a lot of players have nostalgic feelings to her.
Yeah, but it's the 1 mana ping used to be really good, so I'm not sure about the nowadays with the Wanderer out and so forth, but you know.
I'll deal this play here. Well, this very much just seems like a mid-range Riva list.
Yeah, you got the Crown action going on. The Crown, the herald of all mid-range lists.
I guess that Draco still holds on to his Healing Mystic here. Despite not having taken any face damage really so far. He wants to clean up hand space for some kind of Tuskboar play.
But he might be just playing Tusk Burst for 2 mana plays. Like, I remember some old Songhai decks used to do that they didn't even have any synergy with the Tusk Burst. It was just a solid 2-drop they could drop. Steal mana tiles and get it back in hand.
I tried Tuskboar and Kalios in mid-range, but I just found that you're kind of dropping a lot of tempo early game.
Yeah.
Tend to stay away from that unless you're playing Mirror Meld or something. I guess it's okay in Wanderer. It's like a better Saber Spine Tiger post Wanderer.
Lightbender
Solid
from
play
Gas.
here. Kind of a solid play for man, I guess. One that does take 5 damage.
Kind of weird card seeing in Casualist. Seems to have a lot of anti-synergy to the creep plan, but it's probably some kind of a mid-range deck from Mr. Mana as well.
Perhaps. Perhaps. One thing he could have done here is he could have placed the Crown defensively. Doesn't have his BBS up, which would have made it difficult to punish it.
Maybe he's afraid of like a lure or something. But Chron on the pace.
I think.
Yep.
Board clear, so. Oh, good lord. Guess your board is no more. Also getting one of the players in the chat here, Mr. Mana, welcome.
Ohio.
Get the cheat bandit in hand. Good thing. I wonder if it might steal a specific spell from Mr. Mana's deck. I wonder.
You're speaking in words that I do not actually understand, and I'm getting worried.
I allude to what may or may not come.
This foreshadowing strong in this game.
Well, heals the Tuskboar, I like that play.
Yeah, it kind of forces Mr. Mana to make some decisions, and he cannot actually get the good clean on the Scroll Bandit anymore.
Place another Breath of the Unborn. Easy. So the Unborn into, I don't know, something. Lure. Night Fiend.
Or you can just go Revenant and go face like normal people. No, wait, you
Flash
can't.
Revenant.
Yeah. Let's go the Bread of the Unborn.
Mana's still able to clean up the board fairly well here.
Yeah.
Tuskboar returns the hand, he gets to clean up the bandit, leaves a 2 mana. That's fine.
Still running low on health, which seems to be the bigger problem. I mean, Moriarty has so many choices here. But the Chendo is probably gonna be the play.
Would replace the Kaiba holder here if I were Draco. Looking for when he's running.
Very old school play with the Chendo.
Taking a lot of spells from Draco's deck here. It's possible he could be running some kind of almost Titan-esque list.
At the
Haven't
moment,
seen any Mr. Dragon Seals or Juxtas.
Yeah.
Or from a Lantern Fox.
Well, you don't need spells if you just run solid minions.
Most have, I think, gravitated towards having that mindset. They tend to run fewer and fewer spells. I completely embrace that.
I think that Draco's deck is kind of the deck I was expecting to see this tournament more. Like less super aggro or the one or the other list and some like solid mid-range list like you used to play before the Mitron expansion came out.
It's not. I think the problem is just that Battle Pendos really serves the function of AoE really well in those decks. Problem Kalios has that much when he has Flame Wreath, and I think that's like an issue where Reva just stares at a board of ratings and goes like, "Oh, I have no way of dealing with this." That is over for Mr. Mana. He was 1 mana shy of his grand finale play.
Well, we shall never know.
Were you expecting Mr. Mana out of curiosity? He's saying in chat the long deck for this matchup. It's 2-1 in favor of Southeast Asia now.
Yep. I'm just clicking through to the games here.
Southeast Asia is a really good team. They made short work of us. Them in group stage, I think they beat us 5-2. Not Western Europe's proudest moments.
Aethra Neonton Witcher Chrome. Yeah. I mean, that was the kind of the trouble with these semi-finals, because people go into them with the expectations, but then your opponent team knows that you have expectations, and then it gets pretty complicated at some point.
Oh my, look at this. We're seeing a Boronian deck.
with Saber Spine Alphas and Lightbenders.
Spine Alpha is one of my favorite sprites in the game.
Both get replaced, unfortunately, but yeah. So we have Squee9 representing US East, and TonyCamel is representing Southeast Asia. So we have liner versus liner action.
Squee has made it to the Meltdown League finals, or playoffs, I mean.
Yeah.
Hands. Good tournament experience, absolutely. TonyCamel, I'm not so sure about. But he seems to be doing well, nonetheless, he and his team.
TonyCamel is also a really old school player.
I guess I'm just uneducated then.
I think he's been mostly playing ladder gauntlet or something, but I remember seeing him a lot around, like throughout the years. So
We're seeing Zoran, another deck that is hard hit with the banning to Sunrise Cleric.
yeah, Ziran seems to be like in an okay spot regardless, but hasn't found too much success this.
Good lord. Seems like TonyCamel has picked up some neat tricks. This is backbreaking from Squee at this point.
Yeah. Well, it's backbreaking to most factions, actually, I think, in this tournament.
That's true. I think your best bet is just playing Silverguard Knight here.
Yeah.
Doing tiles of them. Or even equipping a Regalia.
Yeah, you could just like move forward, equip Regalia, and move down and wait. Because she can't take away your artifact, and you might have a better play next turn.
I wonder if TonyCamel is going to run Draining Waves in this list, as Draining Waves deals face damage to yourself.
Yeah.
It means that you can buff up your Sworn Avenger with it.
Yeah. Will be a very logical choice, and also like a very stable removal in liner in general.
Interesting to see what kind of Zoran list it could be. It could be some kind of aggro list, or it could be more controlling with claims and stuff. Draining Wave would get the full clear here, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, Blistering Scorn.
It also increases the attack.
What?
He, in the end, gets the full clear. Fortunately for Squee here, though, a Tempest is a full clear. Again, Tempest and then hit into the Scorn.
Not sure how many removal spells he's running if he's also running Lightbenders.
I think you run at least 2 Tempests in every liner list, unless it's Swarm or Titan.
Yeah, I would be inclined to agree, but I'm not totally sure.
That's just not a good play for Squee here.
Yeah.
Doesn't even keep the Regalia intact.
But I guess he's recognizing that he needs to get rid of this one Avenger before it gets out of control.
TonyCamel has the clear on the artifact on board. You would even just need a Riser. He would only need a Sunriser ping to avoid taking the 4 face damage.
But the first 2 damage gets blocked.
But he can shoot for the backline 3/2 first, which penetrates.
That is true.
Stir of all cards.
Sanctify.
Color me impressed. Seem to place the tile underneath the Light Chaser. You could have placed it underneath the Sworn Avenger to get more heal blocks over time.
Seems like a slight misplay here, because you could have the Light Chaser would have also gotten the buff if the Sworn Avenger got the heal.
That's true. That's true. Also, he moves away from the heal tile,
Yeah.
which I think you want to be close to. It's general to zip onto it.
You could have even like played Light Chaser on the tile, on the mana tile, put the Sanctified on the Light Chaser, and then healed the Sworn Avenger. So
It's all true, yes. He chooses to clear the Sworn Avenger, which is absolutely correct in this point.
unfortunately, you also have this growing Light Chaser behind you, so
The Bender to respond to it. Light Chaser cleanly dies after attacking into your general, so I don't think it's the end of the world taking this 4 or 5 damage from it.
yeah, but it's Siran, and Siran has access to 7 mana with 4 cards in hand, so
Technically he has access to 8, so he can play the Excelsius he surely is playing here.
yeah.
Rather the surprise to Gona.
But he could have still placed the Avenger and the Light Chaser in a way that one of them will survive. I don't know.
This type of tempo deck that Squeeze playing, I'm not terribly fond of it. For playing similar lists, is that it tends to feel very disjointed in playing the list, where it's like it's turn 2 and maybe get some value and maybe you can finish them off with alpha. But
Yeah.
it often just feels like you lack the raw damage burst that makes other aggro decks good.
This looks like more like a budget list, to be honest.
I think this is a mighty balloon list. I think I saw one on Duelyst when I was browsing it the other day.
I mean, this reminds me of the Tempo Argent list of the old, with some modifications.
Probably yes.
You have
Plays
the
as jammer.
yeah.
Doesn't have a super strong play here. He can tank the 5, but
I think getting this spell off here would be also very good. Because the Light Chaser dies instantly.
it's one line of play could be to move on top of the Light Chaser, then dispel the Lancer, attack into it, and then blood tier bore it in his face.
Unfortunately, he cannot do both, so either the Sunforce Lancer survives or the 5/2 survives. And Siran gets to keep the 3 attacks, so.
And all it needs is just that TonyCamel has any kind of heal, like a Herald here, and he just loses next turn.
Yeah. So I think this is like a better play, because you can still dispel the Sunforce Lancer.
I don't think you can. Like, you move 2 forward or 2 backwards with the Sunriser, and you really force Squee to overextend his resources.
Yeah.
You can discount the fact that he's probably not holding another Light Chaser at this point, or Lightbender.
Sunriser seems the most logical choice, but not any possible procs here.
Oh, and TonyCamel hasn't really made a lot of attempts to be staying on the tile.
Yeah.
Well, we should try to get his general on there. You're correct, Noun Verber. Titan is not legal.
A lot of people forget that.
This is very harsh for Squee.
This is very harsh on any faction. But he does get a very nice Lightbender off here, so that's nice.
Ooh, that's true. Chooses. I guess that's fair. I face damage and you still push 4 by general attack. So I was thinking he could loosen beam face instead and clean off like.
The problem with the Lightbender here is that he's dead to Ziran in 2 turns if he just Lightbenders the minions and the tile. But if he leaves the Scintilla up, then TonyCamel is getting free procs off. So it's once again bad choices.
But he's not getting free procs next turn because PBS is out.
But he's still exposed to 4 damage from the board.
Yeah, I doubt that TonyCamel doesn't have enough damage in hand right now to kill him.
Yeah.
And there's not really a super strong replace here either. Maybe the Alpha actually, even if it is your finisher of sorts.
Yeah. The Alpha can also clean up the Sunforce Lancer and survive, being in 5/5. So it could work as a body blocker here. One option is also to play the Blood Tier and Holy Immolation to clean up minions.
It's gonna do.
Unfortunately, that also means that TonyCamel only needs 4 damage somewhere, like a Holy Immolation.
Immolation or heal proc into beam, or just double proc from like Sunriser.
Probably the best play Squee could have made in that situation, to be honest, because he can retains the Lightbender for next turn, and then he can Trinity Oath if TonyCamel doesn't find the lethal here.
It's still interesting to when you look at this game. It's just that the turn 1 Sworn Avenger was what actually won TonyCamel this game.
Yeah.
Which is why I sometimes think you actually can run Draining Wave in Temporal Origin.
Yeah.
Just because you can do stuff like Golems turn 2 and just Draining Wave their backline, whatever.
It was the same for Recompulus Lost in Desert Clear. You are correct.
Like TonyCamel has a lethal here though.
Still a very threatening board here. Very hard to clean up that Sworn Avenger here, because it doesn't look like Squee is actually running any range removal.
Oh, I'm very skeptical that he's running any kind of backline removal at all in this list.
I think Lightbender into Trinity Oath will be the best play here. It looks like he just wants to dispel this stuff and give TonyCamel one more chance to find that lethal.
That's what once again, he's dead to Immolation, he's dead to Loose Beam, he's dead to double proc from Sunriser. There's just so many ways that TonyCamel can end this game right here.
Yeah. I probably would have personally preferred the Trinity Oath over the Lightbender play here, but
that's okay, I guess. I don't think neither of them are really winning plays at this point.
no.
I think what's interesting was that the Lightbender actually kept the text on Gamer intact, allowing Squee to draw a card at the end of his turn.
Yeah. Looks like TonyCamel has the lethal here.
So shout out to the 4/3 Windblade Adept.
Yeah, this kind of list worked a lot better back in the day when your opponents were just quicker. Nowadays that kind of deck seems to be way too slow to be very effective.
I don't think that the breed of aggro that he's playing is particularly effective. I think that you need to run some kind of way that you can snowball the deck out of control, or out of... I think you need some kind of way that you can just snowball mid to early game, like Golems or Congregation, or just some kind of way that you can get some kind of payoff. As it stands right now, your play is like, I can play Regalia turn 2, and that's the extent of what you can do, really.
Yeah, that's why I guess the Tempo Arch ran out of favor, because you play good cards, sure, but I just play better cards and you lose. So
you just can't effectively push enough damage so that you don't fall behind on value over time, which I think is the issue with aggro in general.
Yeah.
It's 3-1 in favor of Southeast Asia at this point.
That is correct. So we move on to the next game, which is Duzt playing for Southeast Asia, facing off once again.
Chainsaw noises.
So it looks like a twin fang list, everybody's favorite.
A little more just looks like a normal list to just slap a twin fang onto.
Yeah. Well, every Magma list looks very normal, where you slap some random cards on top of. I think there's nothing wrong with Tempo Archon. I think that's a very good list in this tournament. I just think that particular brand of a list is probably outdated. It just needs more oomph.
I'm not super sold on Arjun. I feel like you're kind of dependent on getting some kind of the game spiral out of control.
Yeah.
Looks like it was more dedicated to the Blood Rage / Twin Fang combo than I first anticipated.
See the Blood Rage coming out.
So you're playing some sweet hatefulness also. That or an illegal Wonder deck.
Trial of Magmar.
Mr. Mana is dead on point here, needs more of the Tigers.
So do you just flash the Spelljammer out here?
Yeah, overpassing a turn. Not super sold on flashing Jammer in general, but I don't think you can pass a turn over it.
Yeah, it kind of looks like that's kind of the game plan he's running anyway. Or like get the spiny guy out, whatever its name.
Flash in the 3-2.
Yeah. Why not?
You are playing against Darhorn, so maybe you can be a bit liberal with your hand size. No, just opting for the safe play here. This particular type of play is that you lose your flash, and it tends to be one of your greatest assets mid-game. Out to turn 1 isn't super powerful.
Let's see, you do need the minion out, and you do get like a lot of value out of it early game. I mean, 3/3 is very hard to deal with, no matter what you are, because it trades into most 2-drops very neatly.
That's very true. You can actually get a pretty good turn off here if you manage to draw Greater Fortitude.
Not a flash, wow.
Sadly. I think you smash the Lava Slasher and kill the Silver Egg. See, if you actually had draw the Greater Fortitude, he could play Quill Beast on tile, trade into the 3. No, he's one man. No, that wouldn't clear the Herald though. No. I was thinking he could play Quill Beast on tile, clean off the 2/3 Solifar, play the Greater Fortitude, and then he could attack into Herald with face. But I would have left the 1/1 Herald alive.
Seems like the Slasher is coming out. Still a lot of hesitation here. What do we think about the position with the minion?
Essentially, he's just trying to deny the tile. Just fair. Be very careful with this jammer.
Also plays around the Flash Macantor.
Makes sense to keep minions alive though when you're playing a deck that wants to damage as much things as possible with AoE.
Yeah.
But he has already his flashes, which might make any combo play very difficult from this point onwards. You would want to flash in something like a Scorn to deal a bunch of damage, Blood Rage or Twin Fang off, but now it's going to be a lot more difficult. Unless you manage to stake like a backline Quill Beast. The one thing you should be concerned with here is just buffing the hell out of that Herald.
Yeah, like
You're playing
just
a
get.
few flashes of zone to get some minis out. Sun Steel in this matchup.
I mean, Ning can be pretty poor with the hands cards as well because he's also getting the 2 draws out. on this
Tide
stuff.
Frenzy. The punishes
Sweet.
are real.
Greater Fortitude. That's some buff. That's some buff Herald coming out. Those leg days are paying off.
They are. But that does unfortunately mean that you stick the Slasher on board. Just give Duzt access to the mana.
Mr. Mana saying that not sure if anyone heard him during the chat, but he says that something else could have been done here.
You're referring to your match earlier, Mr. Mana?
Yeah, I guess this the Ning side.
Oh no, you mean that you were when you were VCing during the match.
Yeah. I mean that's where like the board does go away here, so the Lava Slasher has an easy clear on the Azure Herald. If he had instead hit the Lava Slasher here and left the Jammer alive, that would have probably been better in my opinion.
No, I agree on that.
Twin Fan comes out pretty early here. But I guess Duzt is recognizing that he's on the clock. And he has very good chance to deal a lot of damage here. With the Greater Fortitude and those egg hatches and all that other stuff.
You tend to don't have too many pings when you're playing Furnace because you're forced to kind of keep a lot of buff cards in your deck. So you may struggle very hard here to remove the artifact. But he's keen on taking 6 face damage himself in the process.
Just be a disclaimer that Mr. Mana 3 is the captain of NNNGGG team, US East, I believe.
He did a very fine job at it too, carrying his team to the semifinals. Maybe more, we don't know, of course.
This position it does play around the Reaper lethal.
Does, but I can't imagine being very happy. Massive hate furnace. Like you typically want to play out and get hate furnace out as early as possible. This doesn't advance your trial necessarily and builds a very, very frail board.
Yeah. I mean, this is just passing turn basically. So he needs to need to find an answer to that artifact and to that Reaper and to whatever Duzt plays next.
I think you just turn that 2/8 into an egg to preserve your artifact essentially.
Oh.
So we're seeing just hovering with that. Oh no, he decides to go for Ripper combo instead.
Yeah.
The
10 damage coming to
artifact of the
face.
Ripper. That's a Ripper to clean off the 2/5 go face with 1 charge. To push 12.
Yep.
No, can deal quite some damage, it seems.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I think he's gonna struggle very hard to come back from this. Hate Furnace decks don't tend to be heavily responsive decks in nature. But they can sometimes run Crater, so Crater into something like a Herald here it's pretty good.
The chat is asking why not just use the Wild Inceptor here, and I don't really see why not.
Yeah, I think that he probably didn't think about it.
Yeah.
Keep track of every option you have, and especially when you have a team who yells different options to you during egg-morphing the Pterodon to begin with.
Here comes the classical Magmar finish.
The age-old one.
The Jesus came and said, "May there be Macantor."
Fortunately, leaving that Lava Slasher up that turn cost him the game. And we're seeing another game where artifacts are crucial in the win.
Which is kind of funny that usually it doesn't go like that, but yeah.
Sometimes it really do be like that.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we're ready to see the last the next game. It's gonna take a while because this person plays a ton of games, so...
What's the standing right now? Is it 3-1 or 4-1?
I believe it is actually 4-1. Southeast Asia is leading pretty strongly.
And they've been playing very well. They've been very effective at using artifacts.
Unfortunately, also the decks have always been like in their favor in this matchup. Like US East has brought decks that just don't seem to work very well against the opposition.
Sadly, Mr. Mana's T0 Doom deck isn't really doing the work it's doing against Alpha Sentry, sadly. Now, pass your turn tends to be a rather weak play. Here it seems that the old Brome deck that maybe Mr. Mana was eyeing for in that Doom matchup is coming.
VBC, the current world's best player in the game.
And he may take his nation or region to the finals as well. This match.
VBC representing the Southeast Asian, Squee 9 representing the US East, so this is the United States make or die moment. US
He has
West
the swag on here with his MK2 Brome skin, where Squee has the vanilla Argent skin.
At least they're prismatic.
Windblade Adepts aren't dead, it seems. I wonder if Squee is playing the same deck he used against in the Saran matchup.
Yeah. Mr. Manatri, yes you do. You need to climb to the S1. And tell VBC to go back to his box.
Yeah, we've only been S1 like once or twice. It used to be a big honor in being S1. Now not. Like, it's still a big honor, of course, but it's nowhere near as grand as it used to be.
Yeah, back in the day when the S rank actually had like 300 players.
Yeah, now I think it's like maybe 80 or something.
Yeah.
The statistics don't go over 50, so it's difficult to know. A super comfortable play from BBC here. Squeeze given some establishing his board.
Swagmaster, the reason why they are not taking the mid spot is because of the Zeal. It only triggers it's next to the Squee 9.
Ooh, Ooh, Regalia play. Nice.
This is Temper Archon at
A lot of
best.
artifacts in this matchup. I'm surprised.
Not an easy card for Brom to deal with. I mean, he can clean off the two things with the Warlock into attack, but that's still 4 damage to the face, so...
VBC's version of this Brom may run EMP, so if he struggles with artifacts, or he could just equip a Regalia of his own.
Yeah. You see it a lot that like just like ignore the artifact and just do it yourself and wait for a better turn.
So Blood Tyrion can actually clear the artifacts as it stands.
Yeah.
Because he can Flame Blood attack at Blood Tyrion. He went down to 4 cards in hand, so...
Could also just replace the pony here, because pony isn't that effective against most liner minions.
Ooh, that's true. But it does give you an out, and you are 3 turns away from claim.
Yeah. Also means squeeze actually, at VBC is playing claim for sure, but I'm not sure if Squee 9 is actually...
He needs to replace into the Rust Crawler he isn't playing.
I find this next series of events funny. Yeah. Well,
Just making a rather safe play. Want to remove my artifacts? Go ahead.
you do you.
Oh my.
Well, that's one way to play.
The Master Jesus isn't the only one with swag, it seems.
The good of liner mirror flashbacks coming down strong.
At this point, you may replace the pony though.
Yeah. You wanna find
You
blood
can't
here
even
or
work
whatever.
through one. You can't even work through one charge with the flame blood here. You can work 2 up and body block with the Unbreaker. He's probably playing the same deck he's playing, which means he's gonna for time dealing with the Sunbreaker.
Well, you
For
could also,
something like
you can actually clean up the artifacts here. Flame
Yeah.
blood, holy, and hit phase.
no. Because you have damage per tension of 4, so flame blood wouldn't kill a charge.
That is true.
True.
Oh, I needed this holy emo. Yeah.
I think this is an okay play. I think you know pretty much what deck Squee's playing, and you know that the only way he's getting past the Sunbreaker is Blood Tier Immolation. That still forces an odd immolation if he wants to move up and hit face where the emo doesn't hit the Crestfallen or himself. So I think VBC played very well here.
Very well.
He does indeed wear the pants here.
The Lightbender is a pretty good clear here, or play.
Squeeze definitely putting on pressure here. VBC probably has the out in the EMP if he can find it.
The problem with the Squee is that he only has 3 cards in hand, and VPC has like 5. And the Squeeze board is actually very weak to a lot of the
Squeeze
stuff.
board isn't the greatest, but he still needs to deal with the artifacts. I guess it's a lot easier when he has an active minion on board.
Yeah.
Unless Squee pulls 2 Blood Tears from his hand right here. But I think you can clear the artifact now, though.
I think body blocking the token was the play here. But, well, it wouldn't have mattered
Could
anyway.
you body block the token?
If you play the Primus Fist on top of you.
Didn't play a Primus Fist.
No, but Mr. Mana said that they had Primus Fist in hand.
You expect me to keep track with chat? You're overestimating my abilities.
I'm just saying that this is a professional Duelyst cast. And we are all very professional here.
Possible that Squee doesn't have draw in hand though, which was why he did not make the play of playing Primus Fist.
Mm. There's the backup EMP. Yeah.
He's heavily down on health. There's actually a point where Saberspine Alpha is lethal.
Yeah, this game is getting really close to the wire, and VPC is playing really bravely, keeping on to that Sunset Elixir, trusting that Squee doesn't have any burst out of hand.
As Squee never showed the alpha the last game he played at Temple Brome, so it's possible that he just doesn't expect it here. Aro also did the Blood Tier Immolation though.
This looks pretty rough for VPC. Unfortunately, there's a very good clear here with the Boogaloo.
Sunstrike, let's clean up these.
Yeah.
Him up safely to, what is it? Chooses to attack, then he goes to 7.
Yeah.
But I feel like you don't attack at this point.
Yeah, there's no need. I think that's the bigger debate right now.
Well, if Squee had BBS up, then Alpha BBS would be lethal. As Crestfallen doesn't provoke him, because, you know, Crestfallens have Zeal provoke.
I would be really interested in knowing what Squee actually has in hand, because
May or may not have a Primus Fist. I would expect that he would have something like an Oath. I don't think you replace Oath in this matchup.
Silver Knight will be pretty good here. Gets cleaned up, but at least it stalls the game for a moment.
Tigers would be really good in here, I think.
Well, you think that always. Spelljammer.
Ample mana for Silverguard or Arclight Sentinel shenanigans.
Double Alchemist and Saberspine Alpha would actually be lethal, yes.
Thinking that your list, Mr. Mana, is the Mighty Balloons aggro origin, and he runs 3 alphas, so it's quite unfortunate that you don't have one.
That's actually lethal. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Super unfortunate.
Lionar can also play Songhai and have out-of-hand damage.
Some people have said that Lionel is better at being Songhai than Songhai themselves. But yet this game came down to the wire. I think like both players had like a very good chance of winning the matchup.
I think you probably drew pretty badly as G-Star as Squee. I feel like there was many outs and lethals you could have had there.
Absolutely.
Also decides the series, doesn't it?
That is indeed 5-1 for the Southeast Asia. Taken pretty convincingly, I have to say.
They're a very strong team, so that doesn't surprise me. They've only lost once to Mr. Swagmaster Jesus' team himself.
Yeah. That also means that the all the United States teams have fallen
The thing that surprised me though was that none of the British teams made it to the playoffs. I think they had some of the best teams. None of the UK teams made it to the playoffs. But I'm guessing we're getting to the main event, so to speak.